Oh, I'm nostalgic here. I remember, so you don't have to. Now I'm just kidding. It's David Giant 2B here, doing another movie review. I know I've been around. I've been having a lot of things going on. But anyway, today we're doing another movie review, and I'm doing the 1933 King Kong. This is a masterpiece, kind of. I don't know if you want to classify it as a horror film. It's not. It's more of an adventure film. Action adventure. Yeah, kind of has a combination of adventure, romance, and romance and adventure and stuff. But it's kind of one of the classic movies. I don't know if you want to consider it semi-sci-fi, but yeah, we're doing the original 1933 King Kong, and yeah, this is a well done film, and I'm just gonna do a brief review on that. More movies to come. I just thought I'd just do something from the Depression era. So let's do a King Kong. So it starts out with the overture. In the 1930s, everything was on reels and stuff, so they had to have overtures and stuff. That was kind of the deal back in the Depression, in the 30s, that they had to do overtures, because he was kind of, because everything's coming off the Broadway plays and shows and stuff, so they did overtures. It's allowing people to get in, they didn't have previews of the upcoming features, not exactly just yet, not until later in the decade, or at least until after World War II, probably the previews of the upcoming movie. It may have, in the movie reels and stuff later in the 30s, but this is 1933. The movies in the 30s, they always had their overtures and intermissions and stuff. I guess bathroom, but that's how movies were filmed in those days. So you start with the overture and stuff and whatnot. And I don't own anything. This belongs to RKO. I think Universal is the current owner of it. But it's RKO Radio Pictures, back then directed by Miriam C. Cooper, starring Faye Wray, Robert Armstrong, and Bruce Cabot. And they're the main actors, and RKO, I think it's Universal Pictures today. Anyway, so the overtures, and of course, it starts out in New York City. 1933 is, 1933 present day is the original, and struggling filmmaker Carl Denham, he's trying to make a next picture and stuff. Obviously this is the going age of Hollywood, and a lot of stuff was still made. A lot of it was made in Hollywood. A lot of stuff was still made in New York City, and he did the nature documentaries. But he was struggling, and he's just looking for an outlet. To get a movie going. Otherwise, he's going to be, one of the many people that was on the streets in the Depression and whatnot. And he runs into Faye Wray, who's Ann Darrow, who's a struggling person, and he promises her a chance of a lifetime and whatnot.
He wants a picture of a line, he just goes up to him and tells him to look left. He says, okay, all right, but why all this talk about this voyage being crazy? Well, everybody around the dock is talking about the cargo for one thing. I never did see a ship this size with such a crew. Not enough men to handle it, not enough. Be kind of more than the ship needs. I don't see where they're going to have room enough to sleep. Hey, out there. What do you want? Dinner aboard? So are you. My name's Wesley, Captain. Oh, why didn't you say so? Come on aboard.
He tells because he also has money, he tells, Carl Denham tells, his producers that he's going to have a nature documentary and something very exciting and whatnot. And that's what he tells them. And, obviously, this is 1933, obviously there's something called Skull Island and adventure. And, of course, he's going to try to make, not just pay all his debts off, but also, get something going and stuff. So he runs in, to Faye Wray and tells her, and of course they run into Jack Driscoll, who falls in love with her, and they have to go to Skull Island and stuff. and Faye Ray, and Darrow is struggling and stuff. Like I said, I can't do scene for scene, and of course, Carl Dunham's kind of like a sleazy con man type to get her to come aboard and stuff. Like I said, I'm doing this very brief, very fast and stuff. So, and again, I don't own anything and whatnot. And yeah, we're gonna see what happens next. Again, this is cheesy 1933 side effect. The special effects were very cheesy, advanced for their time, but very cheesy and kind of cheap acting and stuff.
What's your name? Fine. I've got a job for you. Costumes on the ship will fit you. Broadway shops are still open. I can get some clothes for you there. Come on. It's money and adventure and fame. It's the thrill of a lifetime on a long sea voyage that starts at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning.
No, wait. I don't understand. You must tell me. I do want the job, so I can't.
Oh, I see. Oh, you've got me wrong. This is strictly business.
Of course, he conjured to going, and of course they load up the ship. They get a bunch of explosives. They don't know what they're getting into and stuff. And Carl Denham's, he's desperate to make this amazing movie. Pay off his debts and stuff to his producers and pay off the insurance. Pay all his bills off. And of course, Ann Darrow is very hungry and stuff. And of course, they meet Jack Driscoll, who's the first officer and stuff, and he falls in love with her and stuff. And of course, they do eventually go into a fog and go into Skull Island. And of course, here's old New York, as you can see. It's old New York. That was present day and whatnot. And that's present day and whatnot. And of course, this is 1933. And of course, there's remakes of these, and this is and I think RKO is owned by Universal, and it's not Paramount. But and of course, Jack, it's I don't like you, and then she does like him, and so they go to Skull Island and whatnot, and after going through the fog. And of course, I do screen. Carl Denham's doing everything to entice her, because Carl Denham doesn't know what the hell he's really doing and stuff, and he's just kind of bullshitting his way and stuff. And of course, Faye, she's a good actress and stuff. And of course, they go into Skull Island and stuff. After they go through the fog, and of course they have the tribe. Obviously, they're being racist, and they use a bunch of African Americans and stuff, and as the Native American primitive tribe and stuff of Skull Island and stuff, and of course they're worshiping a being called Kong, and they think they gotta find this Kong creature and stuff.
Crazy to risk. Jack, run along and deal out the rifles and ammunition. And get me a couple of huskies to carry my stuff. And Jack, don't forget the costume box. You're lucky enough to make it a swell shot right away. Come on, Ed. All right, boys, let's go. Take it easy with that camera. Do you have ammunition for those guns? Yes, sir. Just careful, don't fuck. All right, Frank, now we're going to look at down silence.
Just go on Skull Island, and you see that big fence, the big gate that the natives, and of course they're trying to do their movie and stuff. Of course, they have a bunch of men with guns and stuff. This is between World Wars and stuff, and of course Jack does fall in love with her and stuff, and Darrow. And of course the captain's cautious and stuff, and of course throughout the movie a bunch of the men get shot off, and people get killed off, the tribes, because they're kind of racist and stuff, and they're doing their dance and stuff. Of course they kidnap her, and they kidnap Ann Darrow and stuff, as hostage, and as sacrifice to Kong, who's a giant ape, giant gorilla, and of course it's all claymation and stuff. And of course, like I said, Jack Driscoll and Andor fall in love and stuff.
Everybody on deck! Everybody on deck! All right on deck! Everybody on deck! Everybody on deck!
They said the natives are, and of course they kind of, they're, this is 1933. This is obviously this is, obviously how they, Andor has been held hostage for Kong. He's supposed to be the sacrifice for the tribe and stuff, and of course Kong falls in love with Andor and stuff. Probably, even though he's so big, he's able to, and of course they put her to sleep, and they record the music and stuff of the chanting of the music and stuff, and of course the juice puts him to sleep and stuff. Kong is claymation. Kong is claymation. This is the golden age of Hollywood. So this is one of the things that made Hollywood what it is. And that scene right there, that famous scene where she's screaming, and of course Kong falls in love with her too. He's obviously very advanced, but that scene right there, and of course even though they rescue her and stuff. And of course, then they see a scene where Kong fights. They have Stegosauruses and Triceratops, and of course, Kong fights a Tyrannosaurus Rex and stuff here. And Kong is the king of his domain here and stuff. And of course, this is the side effects are cheesy. They're state of the art for 1933. And like I said, they rescue her, and of course, Kong actually falls in love with her too. And this is the classic love story with that. With both and of course, men get loud, but and of course, after seeing the might of King Kong fighting the Tyrannosaurus Rex to protect Andor, Wray, and so they gotta capture him, bring him back, and of course they're gonna use her as bait, and they have tear gas and sleeping gas to put on. And of course, they record the music chant, the music that the natives do to get rid of her, and of course they're going to bring King Kong back to New York City, and this should bring in all the money and stuff. Of course, you and I know that brontosauruses are plant eaters. They don't eat meat. And of course, brontosauruses wouldn't exist with Tyrannosaurus. They're millions of years apart. And when they existed and stuff, but obviously in 1933 they didn't know too much about them. And of course, the tails are dragged. And of course, King Kong, like I said, puts her in a cave and stuff. Instead of eating her, he falls in love with King Kong. And of course, Jack Driscoll falls in love. And of course, they rescue her. And of course, King Kong does fight. It's funny how they make brontosauruses meat eaters. They wouldn't be eating humans. They eat plants. Tyrannosauruses on the other side would eat meat. So, King Kong has to, be the alpha male and stuff.
Listen up to use them, you bet they'll stop him. Oh, you had any trouble with the natives?
Yes, right after you left.
What happened?
We fired a couple of volleys over their heads and they took to the huts like scared rabbits.
Gunpowder, something new in their lives, huh?
They're terrified.
They haven't showed up since. Well, Briggs, take a man with you up on the wall and keep your eyes peeled. We'll leave at dawn, whether we get a signal from Crystal or not. Yes, sir.
I can't shoot scene for scene. I'm just doing this for showing what I'm reviewing here. And yeah, you know, he fights the dino. Of course, they capture him. You know, Carl Denham is filming all this. He loses his camera crew left and right. You know, to the animals and the elements and stuff and everything. And of course, they eventually, you know, gas King Kong and take him back to New York and stuff. And of course, you know, he rampages and stuff. Like I said, I'm trying to just skip ahead and, you know, make this brief and fast and stuff. But he fights a T-Rex, and of course they capture Kong and bring him back.
Movies in the world. What? We've got those gas bombs. If we can capture them alive. Why, you're crazy. Besides that, he's on a cliff where our whole army couldn't get at him. Yeah. If he stays there, we've got something he wants. Yeah? Something he won't get again. Hey, look out! It's Kong! Kong's coming!
Capturing King Kong, they bring him back to New York, you know, at Broadway, and they have a, you know, master stage and stuff, and on Broadway, and they have him all chained up as a display. But then once he sees Kong sees a pretty woman in the audience, then he breaks the chains because Kong is kind of, you know, helpless and stuff, and he kind of rampages and stuff, and like I said, I can't shoot. And of course, then he does find somebody. He does find Andaro. And after finding her, he takes her up the brand new Empire. You know, Empire State Building was completed a year prior. So brand new Empire State Building, and of course they have World War I biplanes and stuff to try shooting at him and stuff.
The world. Bravest girl I have ever known. There the beast, and here the...
Of course, you know, as Kong, it's claymation, and it's claymation. Excuse me if I didn't come to scale and paint it. And of course, Kong does rampage here and whatnot, and yeah, and of course he does fall down to his death and whatnot.
You're safe now, dear.
It's like a horrible dream. It's like being back on the island again.
Now it's all right. Don't worry. I'm going to stay right here with you. Anyhow, you don't get bound again.
You know, of course, at the end he says, it's beauty that killed the beast. And of course, I'm going to show the final scene where he's on top of the Empire State Building, the brand new Empire State Building at the time. Very good superimposed stuff for the time. Kong's trying to swat the World War I airplanes.
I'll get him.
That's the man that's talking about.
Well, Denham, here's things done. Oh, no. It wasn't the airplanes. It was beauty killed the beast.
That was King Kong, and again, I don't own this. Is RKO, probably Universal or Paramount, you know, whoever owns them today. You know, I think whoever owns them, it doesn't matter. But anyways, that was, so my thoughts. Yeah, you know, for its time, it was state of the art. You know, they had claymation, state of the art for technology. You know, kind of cheesy at times, and then kind of good acting. Ann Darrell was probably the best. I think she was nominated for Best Actress, I think, and those for that Academy Awards, I think. Anyway, so that's King Kong, and this is Johnny 2B David signing off.